Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika, and this is what you should be watching, okay? So, guys, get on in here, get on in here, get on in here, okay? Get comfortable, have a seat. Today, we are going way back into time, all right? Do you remember? Ow. All right, now I'm not going to do all that. But we are going to those old school classic favorites, okay? This is that gangster lean, baby, all right? We are doing all things mafia and gangster because these are some of my favorites, right? I mean, I love all genres. I have told y'all that. But I have a soft spot for that gangster mafia flick and also horror movies, all right? But we will do that another time. And so today, that's what we getting into. So, all right, let's go ahead for it. My number one is going to be a Bronx Tale simply because I am from the boogie down, okay? Well, I was born in Harlem, but I grew up most of my life in the Bronx. So it's just a little nostalgia. And a Bronx Tale, of course, is this young boy, a teenager growing up on the streets of the Bronx, right? And he's socially turbulent in the 1960s, you know. He basically gets taken under the wing of this, you know, neighborhood mobster, Sonny, right? And Sonny takes him in, basically brings him into the gangland life, right? And so now you have his father, who this causes a direct conflict with, who was played by Robert De Niro, and he's a bus driver, you know, because he ain't trying to have his kid out here in the streets, right? And then on top of that, Carlito, which is the boy, basically goes and falls in love with Jane, you know, who's played by Tara Hicks, and, you know, she's an African-American girl. So now this basically brings repercussions and threatens the entire neighborhood and causes a big old, you know what I'm saying, mess. And so that's the Bronx Tale coming in at number one. Moving on along, we have number two, King of New York, baby. All right, we have Christopher Walken in this, of course, Lawrence Fishburne, and David Caruso. So we have, you know, Mr. Christopher Walken playing the hell out of this character where he's a psychotic drug lord, okay, that just came out of prison. You know, he trying to just find his way. And he finds that the streets is tougher than when he left, okay? Things done changed, right? And so there's no way of washing this blood from, you know what I'm saying, his dirty money or whatever the case may be. And that is King of New York, all right? And so moving on along, my number three, Warriors, come out and play, okay? We have the Warriors that get into a turf battle, okay? It's a turf battle that begins throughout the streets of New York City, right, with different gangs that rage from Coney Island to the Bronx. And these warriors are mistaken and fingered, okay, for killing another one of the gang leaders. And soon they have, you know, every gang in the city trying to come at them for revenge. And it's like, no, we ain't do this, okay? So they trying to fight and get their way across the city and get back home, y'all. And that is Warriors. Now, for my number four, we have Mr. Al Pacino and Carlito's Way. And just in case y'all didn't know, I love all things Al Pacino and all things Robert De Niro as well. And so in this, okay, we also have another person that's getting out of prison, okay, after years of being in there, you know, and he's trying to give up his criminal ways. And we know when that happens, forget about it, right? Ain't nobody giving up their criminal ways. Can't nobody seem to get out, but they can always get in. And so it's not long before this ex-con is sucked back into the New York City underworld, you know, reconnecting with his dancer girlfriend Gail. And Carlito is entangled into some shady dealings with his friend Dave, who was played by Sean Penn, okay, who also serves as his lawyer. But when the run of a foul, you know, shifty gangster Benny Blanco gets in the mix, baby, it sets them all on a dangerous path, okay? So we had number one, a Bronx Tale, number two, King of New York, number three, Warriors, and number four, Carlito's Way. Next up, we got number five coming in, Scarface, all right? Now this, of course, is with Al Pacino, you know, and after getting his green card in exchange for, you know, assassinating a Cuban government official, okay, Tony Montana stakes, you know what I'm saying, his claim in this drug trade in Miami, all right? He want to get some of this too. Is enough for everybody, or is it, right? And so he viciously murders anybody that stands in his way. And Tony eventually becomes the biggest drug dealer, you know what I'm saying, drug lord in the state, controlling all of Miami, all the cocaine that's coming through Miami. But this increases the pressure from police. It starts wars with cartels, and his own drug-fueled paranoia state, baby, basically it serves, fuel to the flames for his eventual downfall. Poor Tony. That's Scarface coming in at number 5, y'all. And so then we get number 6, Once Upon a Time in America, right? This is set in 1968. We have an elderly David Noodles Arison, also played by Robert De Niro, who returns to New York where he's, had a career in the criminal underground, all right? This was in his 20s and his 30s, so now he up there in age. And so, rather I should say it was in the 20s and 30s, and now he's, this is in the 60s when he's coming over here and returning. And so most of his friends are long gone, all right? They done got dead and buried, okay? Besides his friend, longtime friend, James Woods, who's basically playing somebody named Max, all right? And they're all gone. So basically we are having him, feeling like a lot of his past is unresolved. And this is basically told in flashbacks, that follow Noodles from when he was a kid in New York City and Lower East Side, through his rise to becoming a bootlegger and then becoming a mafia boss, right? So that was Once Upon a Time in America at number 6. Number 7 is New Jack City, baby, all right? So, of course, this is Nino Brown, okay, Wesley Snipes. He's a big drug tycoon, I should say, you know what I'm saying? He has his minions known as Cash Money Brothers, all right? CMB. And so, of course, he rapidly rises to the top of New York City narcotics trade, right? Underneath, Nino is heartless and he's ruling everything, and, he ain't playing games with nobody, right? He has this drug operation and is becoming a multi-million-dollar success and empire, right? And so you have Scotty, who is basically Ice-T, and his partner, Nikki. These two officers who know their way around the streets of Harlem are aiming to take Nino down, okay? They like, that's enough of that. We gonna get you up out of here. And so that's New Jack City, all right? And that is my number 7. Now, moving on down the road, my number 8 is Boyz N The Hood, honey. And this is where, of course, Cuba Gooding playing Trey. He is sent to live with his father. His mama actually drops him there, which is Angela Bassett, and drops him off to Lawrence Fishburne, okay? So we had Ike and Tina in this one, all right? This was one of the first movies they played in together. And this is in South Central, Los Angeles. Of course, this was made by the great John Singleton. And although, his father instills proper values and respect to him, and he has this beautiful girlfriend who is played by Nia Long that's trying to teach him about faith, he's also living in an environment that's basically a booming drug and, gang culture. You have people around like Mr. Doughboy, okay, that's played by Ice Cube. And you have his brother Ricky that's basically friends with Trey, And, of course, is played by Morris Chestnut. And honey, child, let me tell you, that's when I first fell in love with Morris Chestnut. I always remember him. And I always remember just me and you. Baby, don't worry about nothing, don't worry about nothing, don't worry about a damn thing. When he in that scene in the gym and he lay back with his towel, woo! Oh, but anyway, we ain't here for that. Honey, whoo! I will always remember that. And of course, Ricky! Okay, I'm traumatized from that part. Can't watch that part. Gotta fast forward that part now when we get to it. But anyway, moving on along. Next, we get another one that traumatized me. I know y'all think I'm crazy because y'all like, if these things traumatized you, why the hell are you putting them up here? But that's how good they acted these daggone roles out, all right? We have number 9 coming in, Menace to Society, all right? I hated old dog, Mr. Lorenz Tate. Hated him, okay, for a very long time. But that just means that he played the role the way he was supposed to. So, after growing up in a gang lifestyle in Los Angeles projects, 18-year-old Kane Lawson basically wants out. Here we go again with another one that wants out, right? Everyone around him, including his unpredictable friend Old Dog, is basically trapped in their lives of crime and violence with the help, of this caring teacher, Charles Dutton is actually trying to help him get out, as well as his girlfriend Jada Pinkett. Kane really starts to think about, maybe I can get the heck up out of here, and tries to make plans to leave for good. But, in a series of tragic events, Kane realizes escape may not be that easy. All right, so that is number 9, Minister Society. Now we moving on to another one that played the hell out of his damn role that I wanted to choke. And I can remember going to see both of those in the theater. All right, that is Juice, okay, with your man Tupac. And so we have 4 Harlem friends. We have Bishop, we have Q, we have Still, we have Raheem, right? And they're dabbling in petty crime, but then for some reason they decide they want to do this, you know, take it up bigger, get it, you know, drive it up a notch or whatever, right? And they want to rob this convenience store. And so Q starts having second thoughts because he's basically like, yo, I got some aspirations. As a matter of fact, I'm supposed to be DJing tonight or whatever the case may be. I got this gig the same night of the robbery. But unfortunately for him, Bishop ain't trying to take no for an answer, okay? And he ain't trying to have him talk and tell nothing that they did either, right? And so this is a game where, you know, everything is for keeps, baby, and you got to just go ahead with the flow because now you in too deep, right? And so then we have number 11, Sugar Hill. So with Sugar Hill, we basically have, you know, Mr. Wesley Snipes, okay, playing Romello Scuggs. And he has a brother named Ray Nathan, right? And they grew up surrounded by crime in Harlem. As an adult, Romeo, you know, has become a high-ranking drug dealer, all right? He's living out here doing what he got to do. But then he meets this woman, okay, that kind of changes his life and gives him a different perspective. She's not with all of that drug game stuff, right? She's not trying to be around him and his lifestyle. She's actually trying to move to North Carolina. And Romello basically, like I said, is questioning himself and saying, maybe I could go and just live, you know, live a normal life in quiet and peace in the country. But Ray Nathan, his brother's like, oh, hell no. He trying to do everything that he possibly can, you know what I'm saying, to keep his brother there. And so that basically is Sugar Hill, y'all, all right? Then we have coming in at number 12, Hoodlum, all right? This is about Bumpy Johnson, and this is starring Lawrence Fishburne. And so, of course, he returns, you know what I'm saying, after being released out of jail to his criminal ways, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, he's trying to run numbers. He's trying to do what he could do and get his little thing going, you know? And then you have his friend, Illinois Gordon, and his girlfriend Francine Hughes, played by Vanessa Williams, that's basically both eager to get him on the straight and narrow, all right? They like, come on, you got a second chance, you out of jail, we need you to go ahead and put all of these things, you know what I'm saying, down. But a brewing rivalry between him and the mafia boss Lucky Luciano is not letting that happen, okay? And his henchman basically, you know, threatens and raises the stakes and bring it to a whole new dangerous level. So that is Hoodlum, okay, coming in at number 12. Now, y'all, I love this freaking movie right here. You want to rock with me? That's all I remember every time I freaking see this movie. 13 is Shottas, okay? Deported from the United States, 2 drug dealers, K-Man and Marley Spargabins, traveled to Miami and continued their violent ways. Nothing else to be said, okay? And if you don't know about Shottas for any reason, then go and check it out. Next, number 14 is Paid in Full. And you guys, you know what's funny? Paid in Full and Juice was hard for me to find. When I was looking up mafia and gangster movies, it was quite interesting to me that some of them are actually not included underneath those genres. And then some of the ones that were included, I was like, I'm confused. How is this considered to be mafia? But I'm having to go and hunt for Paid in Full and Juice, and I forget it was another one. But nonetheless, that was interesting to me. Never noticed it before. But Paid in Full in the late 1980s, right? We have Ace, that is Wood Harris, and I think he does not get the recognition that he deserves, you know. Of course, this was based on real life. Is a young, you know, man employed by a Harlem dry cleaning shop, working hard to stay out of the drug business while making deliveries. He meets Lulu, a drug dealer, who convinces Ace to join him. Ace recruits his friends, Mitch, who was played by Mekhi Phifer, Rico. The trio become a major players in this home, you know what I'm saying, Harlem drug world, I should say, and a violent business that will test their friendship and loyalty, you know what I'm saying, to the limits. Of course, we already know how the streets do, okay? And basically, all the wits and money that they have, you know, rolls in, and the danger grow beyond their control, you know, and it becomes a real hot mess. And so that was paid in full, okay? And we are going to end this off with number 15, The Untouchables, all right? This was basically with Robert De Niro, Kevin Costner, you know, and after building an empire with the bootleg alcohol, legendary crime boss Al Capone, okay, who's played by Robert De Niro, ruled Chicago with the iron fist, you know, through Prohibition, right? And so Agent Elliot Ness, who was played by Kevin Costner, is like, oh, hell no, we ain't playing that, I'm on your ass, okay? So attempts to take Capone down have basically, even with his best efforts, failed time and time and time again, right? And due to widespread corruption within the Windy City, the police force, you know what I'm saying, is like, what the heck can we do? So they recruit an elite group of lawmen who basically won't be swayed by bribes, okay, or fear or any of that, including the Irishman cop Jimmy Malone Ness, and renews his determination to, you know what I'm saying, basically bring Capone to justice. Like, I'm not gonna stop till I have your behind in here, okay? And so, guys, that is my list for today, all right? Which ones do you like? What are your favorites? You know, some of these, I ain't gonna lie, I could watch over and over and over again and I don't get tired of them. And I will be back next week with the July releases for July, all movies and TV shows that will be streaming. And so until then, okay, until next time, I will see y'all. Toodaloo, take care.